Psihijatar Ian Stevenson jedan je od pionirskih istraživača reinkarnacije na sveučilištu Virginia. Putovao je diljem svijeta tijekom razdoblja dužeg od 40 godina. Istražio je gotovo 3000 slučajeva u kojima su se djeca navodno prisjetila prošlih života. Stevensonova ostavština nezaobilazna je referencija u suvremenim istraživanjima reinkarnacije.
There are literally hundreds of cases that are being accumulated at the University of Virginia Medical School by Jim Tucker, an MD who has taken over the program that was begun by Ian Stevenson. And then there is another researcher, Erlander Haraldsson, at the University of Iceland. If you look at the research that's been done at the University of Virginia and in Iceland, it becomes clear that people often seem to bring in experiences from a life that was terminated by violence or accident prematurely, as if they were caught in sort of mid-process and they pick that process back up and want to continue with it.
Slučajevi reinkarnirane djece fascinantan su dio ovoga fenomena. Primjerice, tijekom 1930-ih, djevojčica Shanti Devi iz Delija u Indiji počela je govoriti o detaljima iz prošlog života.
The most heavily documented case, I think she was about 4 or 5 years old, she began talking about her husband, her prior life in Murtha, which was 90 miles away. The Indian government got involved, and Mahatma Gandhi actually set up an Indian government commission to study this. They took Shanti Devi to Murtha. They let her get off the train. She's just a little girl. Nobody guided her. She led the team to the house that she said was her house. There was a man that was hired to be an actor. He said, well, I live here, and I'm the man you said is your husband. And she said, no, you're not my husband. She pointed to the man next to him. She goes, you're my husband. And that was the guy who actually lived there. And then she began to reveal very intimate details that no one could possibly have known. The commission in India concluded that she had lived before.
Dječak James Leininger iz Luizijane prisjetio se bivšeg života u kojem je kao pilot James Houston poginuo u Drugom svjetskom ratu. Mediji su 2005. objavili taj slučaj nakon čega je postao svjetska senzacija.
He was a pilot on the USS Natoma Bay, an aircraft carrier in World War II, and even pinpointed the location where his plane went down in the ocean off of Japan, and was reunited with members of the Natoma Bay and recognized who they were, knew things about them that, a 9-year-old boy shouldn't, would have no reason to know, and even knew specific things about his sisters from the previous life that he was reunited with.
This little boy at 3 years old, was talking about details of specific planes, war planes, back in 1941, that the 3-year-old boy had no way of having that information, and when he talked about the names of people that he claimed that he had been with in this battle, he had the specific names and numbers of airplanes. These kinds of details were just not available to him.
74-godišnji Paul Van Wert, magistar je psihologije. Početkom 1990-ih upoznao je Iana Stevensona na konferenciji u Denveru. Taj susret toliko ga se dojmio da se odlučio posvetiti istraživanju reinkarnacije.
So as I looked at Ian Stevenson's approach, I was very much taken with his detailed gathering of data, getting the details not only of what people said they felt or saw. He actually looked at their bodies to compare physical features between our body in this lifetime and the kind of person, the kind of physical attributes we had. He compared these objective areas of data and tried to develop a link between a previous lifetime and this lifetime.
These cases come in sort of two configurations. One is people who recall verifiable information about a previous life. And then there is a smaller group who not only can recall details of a previous life, but who bear scars on their bodies or birthmarks that directly relate to an event which occurred in this previous life.
Stevenson je preminuo 2007. godine. Rezultate njegovih istraživanja Paul je odlučio pomaknuti na novu razinu. Pokrenuo je projekt Pokus reinkarnacije, gdje je putem formulara na internetu prikupljao podatke. Osim provjerljivih sjećanja ispitanika i madeža na njihovom tijelu, došao je na zamisao da pokuša pronaći poveznicu s fizičkim izgledom između sadašnjih i prošlih života.
I started looking at the biometrics of facial features of a person living today, and in cases where we had portraits or photographs, we could do the biometrics of all of our architecture of our face. So that was very successful. They were less than 1% difference in this comparison of biometrics. And so that gave us an objective sort of starting point. It wasn't somebody saying, oh, I think you look this way, I think you look that way. We had solid scientific data.
Uz fizičke karakteristike, Paul uspoređuje talente i profesionalne sklonosti ispitanika s njihovim sklonostima u prošlom životu.
A person who might have been a wonderful dancer or a singer or an athlete, whatever the area of talent and skills were, and we could measure those attributes in a scientific way. And we discovered that in the strongest cases for past life connection, we learned that if it was that strong, the correspondences were so close that it would be unthinkable that they could happen by chance. So therefore, it has to be part of this phenomenon of reincarnation, which carries forward some skills, knowledge, intelligence, physical features, even the way you relate to people. And to say that happened by chance is simply foolish. I mean, we're still trying to figure out how consciousness continues from one lifetime to the other. We don't know the mechanism.
If we look to physics, energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred. The energy that makes us alive pre-exists our body, comes into our body. When our body dies, it moves on and takes with it our consciousness, which is our memories and everything that we acquired during this lifetime. It's just that some people are able to remember prior lives.
So it suggests to us that the idea of the collective unconscious or the Akashic record in Hindu religion, that what we're talking about here is this non-local information structure. That what we're looking at is that consciousness is causal and primary, and that space-time is a manifestation of consciousness. The domain of consciousness can be described as information manipulated by consciousness.
Paul je tijekom dugogodišnjih istraživanja 2 puta posjetio i Hrvatsku. U knjizi Genom duše iz 2008. ističe teoriju psihoplazme.
There is a complete link between consciousness and the physical organism. So we call it psychoplasm in the sense that it is that which survived upon death. So the psychoplasm is what leaves the physical body and survives in this other dimension. We certainly know that there are multiple dimensions. And the psychoplasm then exists in one of these dimensions before it is reincarnated in a new child.
Nove spoznaje o reinkarnaciji mogle bi promijeniti dosadašnju perspektivu o fenomenu. Paul je otkrio nekoliko osoba koje bi mogle biti istodobna reinkarnacija jedne te iste osobe. Jedan od tih prijelomnih slučajeva odnosi se na višestruku reinkarnaciju francuske kraljice Marie Antoinette, koja je živjela u 18. stoljeću.
There might be more than one person who has some kind of psychoplasm connection with Marie Antoinette. In fact, this is a case that we're working on right now after many years of thinking about the notion that only one person could have these memories from a particular lifetime. If the psychoplasm or soul genome is out in the field of consciousness, that's in the universe, it's maybe possible that some of these more powerful, well-known figures have the word we're using is a split some way. Part of the genome has an impact on another person. I'm only now entertaining that possibility, and I think that's going to be one of our future challenges. That's what I think the frontier of this research and individual reincarnation is leading us.